Hi everybody,
Hi.
welcome to our very first ever episode of Let's Talk Ship.
And what are we talking ship about today, Luke?
We're talking lots of ship about P&O Cruises' brand new ship, Iona.
Yeah. So before we get on and give you a full experience of every part of the ship, if there's any questions at the end of this video, please pop them in the comments below.
Or drop us an email.
Because what we're planning to do is a live Q&A where we'll be able to answer those questions and any other questions that people have. So while you're here, make sure you also subscribe so you get notifications of when we're live.
And if you like the video, please give it a like.
So we've just come off a P&O Iona cruise. It was a 7-night cruise, and in this video we're going to tell you all about our experience on board.
Yeah, well, what an experience we had. To be fair, I was completely blown away by it. The ship is enormous, it's beautiful, and it's just breathtaking.
It exceeded all our expectations.
Really did. Actually, I'm really impressed with the ship. We'd attempted to get on board twice in the past, and those cruises have been cancelled, which kind of took the shine off it all. But we've got to say, going on board, I was blown away by it.
Third time lucky.
Really was. So let's begin. So Iona is an enormous ship. She is the biggest ship at the moment for the British cruise market. Yes. She's brand spanking new. She's basically named after an island. She's the size of an island. She's gigantic.
That's what we just couldn't get in our head how big she was.
She's massive. She offers so much. There's so much for everyone to do. She's got so many new things, new features over the old P&O ships.
Entertainment, food venues, lounges, so much going on in this ship.
So she's basically got an enormous SkyDome at the top, which the pool area is inside, so it's like a sheltered pool area, and that has a retractable sort of stage area, which is where they do all the sky performances.
So in the ceiling,
a bit like a Cirque du Soleil. It's not Cirque du Soleil, but that sort of thing.
In the roof, they've got wires coming down, so you got.
But yeah, that's where they do the SkyDome show. Basically, the stage can go and retract over the pool, and they incorporate it all in with all these LED lights, which. There's one light in the middle that costs £1 million.
There's like a laser in the middle.
£1 million. But yeah, that's brilliant. And then there's loads of infinity pools.
Yes, and hot tubs.
For little kids, there's a little splash area with like loads of little palm trees with like squirty jetty things on it. There's a sports court. There's a fully equipped spa, gym, loads of
jogging track outside.
Dining as well. Jogging track, a full wraparound promenade deck with loads of little hot tubs on it.
That's what a lot of people are missing from P&O's last ship, Britannia, is they wanted the wraparound promenade deck, and that's what they've got.
They've got it back. But there's also a jogging track too, which is kind of handy because if you do just want to jog, all the walkers would be down on the lower part, and the joggers can go up the top if that's what they want to do. So instead of getting backlogged and stuff. So now we've talked about how great Iona is, and she really is really great. We're going to go and talk about our cabin.
So we booked a guarantee balcony cabin, saver rate, so we didn't know where we were going to be, and we were assigned a brilliant cabin on deck 11.
Yeah, we were deck 11, starboard side, mid to aft-ish, and it was brilliant. Got to say, really impressed with it. Comparing this cabin to other balcony cabins on other ships at the moment.
The best.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's basically compared to I compare it to a mini-suite or at least a deluxe balcony cabin.
I'd say it's easily a deluxe.
Easily a deluxe, without a doubt. To be fair, the only thing that would let it down from a mini-suite would be there's no bathtub, but the room itself was enormous. The balcony was a really decent size, plenty of room to lay out on your deck chair. Loads of room. The room itself was big.
Yeah, we found the room a great size.
There was plenty of storage, to be fair. We were on there for a week and we did overpack. We managed to fit a lot of our clothes in.
We had 3 cases full of clothes.
The bathroom was lovely, very modern, tastefully decorated, nice plastic door, so there was no cleaning curtains. I mean, it doesn't bother us, but some people absolutely hate that. But yeah, it was a decent sized shower as well. Only downsides to the cabin where there was a lack of drawers. So we had to sort of keep our pants and socks in carry bags, which is how we pack them on our case. And I just stuffed them into the little bedside cubby, and there was no electric shaver 2-pin socket, so I had to just bring an adapter with me and just charge it by the kettle in the room.
Some other little niggles we found were there's a bit of creaking outside on the balcony. which I think is quite a few people complained about. So it wasn't unique.
It was a shame. It wasn't too bad. Once the door was closed, you couldn't hear it, and it didn't seem to be when the ship was actually in a storm, because we were in a storm. It didn't make that much noise. It was when we were just like now and again when the ship was sort of like a bit of rolling, it would creak, and it was a bit odd. But it could just be that she's brand new,
could be,
and she's just trying to bed in and settling. Yeah,
but our cabin had a massive sofa in it as well, which was really good.
I think it did actually convert into
yes,
bed
it did. Because it did have a little sign saying ask a cabin steward to convert it into a bed. But also the way our cabin was laid out meant the wardrobes opened towards the sofa bed, which meant we could easily get into the wardrobes. I have seen some comments where the bed's been the other way around, so you've got the bed first, then the seating area, and people do mention on those cabins it is difficult to get into the wardrobe, which I can understand. It would be a bit more difficult.
But other than that, it was a lovely cabin. Really, cabin steward was lovely. Got on with it. It was great. No problems there.
At the moment, they're not doing a turn down service, so it was only once a day the cabin steward came and did a brilliant job of our room. Give us clean towels, everything we needed.
Didn't want
ice.
Yeah, even
every evening we had ice.
We had glasses as well because we asked for. Do we ask for wine glasses?
So we had clean wine glasses, and ice every night for our gin and tonics.
Brilliant, really, really good.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is food.
Yay! Who doesn't like food?
We certainly had a lot of food on P&O Iona, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's loads of options for everybody. Every taste is so much on board. So, in addition to the staple specialty dining or standard dining,
Sindhu, Epicurean, the Glasshouse, and the Limelight Club, which you have on Britannia.
Yeah, I think we've got more.
Yep.
There are some new ones, such as we've got the Keel and Cow, we've got the Olive Grove, and the Quays.
Yes.
Which, we'll get into that now. So anyway, we're going to start off with the brand new ones, I think. So we'll start off with the Keel and Cow.
That's where you find the Prime Minister burger, which is amazing.
It's like that big. It's huge. I mean, I couldn't eat it. You did try.
Yeah.
I had to cut mine up.
I went straight in there and had it.
Food was absolutely delicious. It was really, really nice. We went there for like a lunch, and then we did go back to the Keel and Cow for a dinner.
Yeah. And that's located on the top level of the main or Grand Atrium.
So you basically get to overlook it. It is on one side where you actually have the food, and you could see out through the big, enormous glass windows down either side of
that'd be a beautiful place to have dinner when you're in the fjords, I think.
But anyway, the food there was absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed that. Then our next brand new specialty restaurant was
Let's go for the Olive Grove.
The Olive Grove.
So Olive Grove, typical specialty restaurant is you pay a cover charge. For the Olive Grove, there is no cover charge at the moment.
Not yet.
We don't know whether there's one coming, but at the moment it's free of charge. There are some extra charge items in there, but the food was really good. Really
tasty, like amazing. I did pay for baklava. I paid an additional £2 for that, but compared to what you get in Home Bargains, I mean, I had a whole paddle, and it was bigger than the box I've seen down there. And I also had my first ever kebab at sea. I was blown away by that. I literally had a kebab. It came in a pita. It had lamb. It was lush. Really, really tasty. I was quite impressed with the Olive Grove.
The food there is really good. A lot of people want to go back more than once. We found once was probably enough for us on that 7-night cruise.
But it is quite popular.
It is very popular. You need to book as soon as you get on board. We know people who didn't book on the first day, and when they tried to get in a table, they could only get a 5 o'clock table.
Yeah. So our next little dining venue, we have actually forgotten one. We've forgotten Ripples, the ice cream bar, because that's new too. But we'll go to pudding after we've had our. Yes. We'll carry on eating normal food, savouries, and then we'll go on to our sweets. Okay.
Yep.
So we'll go into the Quays now. Which one do you want to talk about? You've got a choice of 3 here. So we have the hook, line, and vinegar, which is like an onboard chippy.
Yes.
You have the Chinese, Asian fusion. Yeah, that's like the Oriental, which you get like your noodles and your curries. Really good. And then there's the American diner grill.
Yeah,
it's called Broadway diner. No, I can't remember. It's escaped me. Anyway, there's an American like grill on the end. You've got all 3
and fried chicken,
and it's all included.
Yep.
In your cruise fare. It's not an additional cost. It's not specialty. It's just handy. It's like glorified grab
Some
and
of the portions I'd seen beforehand looked small, But when we had them on this cruise, they weren't small, and not only that, you could get some fish from, you know,
we were greedy. Yeah,
you could go to the burger bar and get a burger, so you could mix and match.
Yeah, definitely. And then if you fancy something nice and sweet afterwards, if you just pop down, go heading more back towards like the atrium, there's an ice cream bar called Ripples, which you had an ice cream afternoon tea there.
I had to try it, and it was. People say it's enough for two, and it's easily enough for two.
I did try one of your ice creams. It was quite nice. It looked really, really tasty.
Yeah. But that's open throughout the day, so
that's chargeable.
Yes, that's
chargeable. Not included. So the keys are free. The Ripples ice cream is not.
One thing to mention with the keys as well is it's also open for breakfast.
Yeah, but we never made it there for breakfast.
No, we never made it there. Of course not.
I know, we should have. We were never appealing enough.
Exactly. We barely made the buffet for breakfast.
And then let's go into our standard staple P&O experiences now. So we've got Limelight Club. That's specialty. It was our first ever actual Limelight experience on this cruise, because with the Limelight Club you get food paired with some great entertainment. And it's all done like you have your meal and you watch it. It's great.
Yeah.
But basically the performances that have been on in the past haven't really appealed to us, and we've just not bothered. However, on this occasion we had Lavoie, and she was amazing.
She was amazing.
Absolutely hilarious. Had a ball.
So we went there on Valentine's night, didn't we?
As well, which made it even better. And then we had some amazing food too to go with it.
Really recommend it. Again, it's another one of these venues that does book up pretty quick, especially when there's popular acts on.
Or if it's Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So make sure you get it booked up if you want to see any of the shows.
What else we got? So then we have Sindhu. That's another P&O.
Yeah, it's a favourite of ours.
Specialty again. There is a cover charge. Unlike in the past, though, we used to have a cover charge for a set, sort of like 3 courses. You now have the option to pay per course, which is brilliant.
Items are individually priced.
It actually saved us, because I think it worked out cheaper.
It did. We ended up spending £4 in Sindhu because we'd prepaid £20 for the booking. So that worked out much cheaper than if we'd have paid for 2.
I mean, we didn't go for a pudding, but I mean, most of the time when you go to an Indian, you don't normally have a pudding. Don't get me wrong, in the past we have, because it was sold as a 3 course. And the chocolate bomb looked really, really cool. That was a bit of a novelty, I think, back in the day. But you know, you can only eat it so many times, and it's only how many? What did you say you normally?
Deconstructed trifle is what I tend to go for. But I think I've had that enough.
I think you've eaten it that much. You've reconstructed it. So yeah, better than that. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant.
And the venue really, as all the Sindhus are on P&O, really pretty.
And then our next is going to be our theme favourite, the Glass House. So again, Glass House, you pay per plate. Yep. That's been going on now for quite a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That's not new. Basically, we've done that. And
so in the Glass House, it is situated in the middle part of the atrium, middle level.
Keel and Cow at the top, Glass House in the middle.
Yeah. We went there nearly every night, probably for a drink. So one half you can just have a drink, people watch over the atrium, is really nice. The other half is where you then have food.
Now with the Glass House, if you have a drinks package, you can't get the flights on the drinks package, but there's nothing stopping you getting the individual glasses of wine that make up that package and doing it that way. With, you know, obviously one drink at a time, you can't have all 3 at one go. And it does depend, I suppose, if the price of that glass of wine falls within the package too, because it's about £6.95, I think, is the limit.
Yes.
Am I right? But anyway, we managed to find ourselves a new favourite. We have now got, what was it? The Black Shiraz. That's one of our new. Oh, it's good, really good. It was recommended to us by the waiter.
I was going to say the waiters will always be happy to recommend you something within the package as well.
I mean, they did like to push Jam Shed for some reason, but it's a bit sweet.
Too sweet for us.
And we did have one of our favourites, our Charles Smith. Was it Boom Boom?
Yeah, that was in there.
So we were pleased with that.
But the food we had in there was out of this world. As always with Glass House, it's really good food. But we went in and we saw a picture, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we basically wanted everything that's in this picture. And he said 1 or 2 things weren't in there. So we said, okay, well, give us 9 little plates. I think it's £8 for 3 plates now.
Yeah.
So he came out with 11 plates. And with so much food, we had to get friends to help us eat it.
Luckily for us, our friends were sat in the atrium, and we were literally just like, oh my god, look at this. The table was full. We called them over and they helped us polish it off, luckily. Yep. So we've talked about that. Now, last but not least, we have the Epicurean.
Yes.
Now, the Epicurean, we've been there a few times.
Yeah, we've done it on Britannia twice. and this will be the third time then.
I would say, I'm going to say it's the best we've had.
The only one problem we had there is at the front and top of the ship.
So
we were in a storm.
Being in a storm, the dining room's not in the best place. But it's the same on Britannia though. It's at the top and the front. So
it didn't bother us, except we just kind of grabbed our wine glasses every now and then in case they just disappeared. We didn't want to waste it.
It wasn't that bad, but the food was brilliant. I had a lovely meal here. I had this amazing crab starter in this really nice fancy vase. I know that was really nice with the caviar in it. Oh god, it was so good. And then we had the lamb. Did we for dinner?
We both had lamb.
Lamb, so nice. And then the puddings were. We had cheese board, and then they came out with these little.
Oh, the little
sweets.
The truffles.
That's what I was thinking when I said puddings, because I had the cheese, which we didn't realise it was actually to share. So we had a plate each. So basically, we had enough cheese for 4 people.
But we did have puddings, so
it was nice. It was really, really good. So we have 2 last ones now. We have the main dining room and the buffet at the top.
So the main dining room, we went to the Aqua, is it?
The Aqua restaurant. So basically, it's not the enormous restaurant you see with a big window at the back of the ship. It's one of the 2 smaller ones on the side leading up to it. So we went to the Aqua restaurant on the very first night. I had salmon. What did you have? Can you remember?
I can't even remember what I had.
It was really nice. I enjoyed it.
What they say is you need to be on Iona more than 7 days to try everything. So we tried to fit in as much as we could, and we just about, I think, did everything.
Because we literally crammed it in. We were doing lunches and everything to just try and get it all in.
So we would have liked to have gone to all the main dining rooms to try them all out, but
and maybe not
fill everything else in.
And the thing is, we filled our faces in the afternoon, so by the time we were having dinner, it was we'll skip pudding and things because we were too full.
And there's a buffet. Book Iona for 2 weeks.
Then we have the buffet. Now the buffet I found really, really good. There was lots of nice sweet treats in there. Breakfast was really nice. It is set out so that it sort of repeated itself twice within one section, and then again front and back. We found that it was quieter towards the back of the ship.
If you where the stations were closed, you could still sit down there. So we tend to just get our food and walk to the quiet closed areas.
But we always found somewhere to sit. I mean, I know the ship's not sailing at full capacity, but I don't think it would be a problem if I'm honest, because you've got other options like the quays and things. People are just, and you've got the other your bigger bars and your poolside grills.
We did find it quite busy there for breakfasts on the sea days, but that was to be expected because everybody gets up late, so they all go to the buffet. While we were on board, it had reverted back to self-serve, so you served your own food.
So for us, that was the dining, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. I've got to say, I don't think my waistlines enjoyed it as much, but I certainly have.
Back to beans and toast now.
Back on the diet.
So the next thing we're going to talk about,
drinks. Drinks for everyone.
So, as everybody who knows us, we love the drinks package.
You think?
The first thing we did when we boarded Iona was get our drinks package. It's $39.95. Well, the alcoholic package that we had was $39.95 per person per day. We found that to be really good value. It does come with some terms and conditions, such as 15 drinks per person per day, 15 minutes between drinks, and drinks up to the value of $6.95. So you can only have singles and small glasses of wine.
However, it does include all of your soft drinks. So like your Cokes from the tap and all of those, your waters, all those are included. It's worth noting as well, it's not just like your soft drinks like your Coke and all from tap and stuff. You do actually get the Costas from Vistas. So basically that saved us a small fortune.
And we drink gin, we drink red wine, and we drink the odd pina colada.
I was drinking Malibu and all on there as well when we were on the nightclub. So
for us, it was all included. And where the drinks were more than the package, we just thought, sod it, we just treat ourselves.
So I'm going to say our favourite bar, I think, on board on this cruise, on this ship so far, was the Emerald Bar, which is located at the bottom level of the Grand Atrium. So you can people watch and you can have some amazing cocktails. Now these cocktails weren't included in the drinks package, I've got to say, but they were really, really tasty and they looked really cool.
They call it the Discovery menu or Discover menu.
So there was like this flamingo cocktail I had. You had this smoked one where you lift it
so good.
And the smoke all comes out. That was really, really good. They were really tasty.
We had a few others.
We did have a few others. They were included. We had like a bit like it wasn't a Bearnaise. It was like a hazelnut brulee. That's it. And that was really nice. And that was actually included within our drinks package.
There's also, I think there was about half a dozen drinks, and I think one of them wasn't available, but we did try all the others. They were really good.
So yeah, we liked the Emerald Bar. That was really nice.
Yes.
We loved the Crow's Nest. That's one of our firm favourites. And on Iona, it's pretty traditional, really. It's not like on Ventura or Azura, which is like shoved at the back. It's a proper Crow's Nest where you've got forward facing, nice big windows. Yep. It's lovely. They did have some live entertainment up there too, so it was great.
You've also got Brody's, the bar, which has got the casino in it as well, and that's got live entertainment.
That's your typical British pub. Yeah, loved that. What was our other favourite? Glass House is kind of, we're saying a dine-in, but it's also one of our favourite drinking spots. Yep. We liked it because obviously on the drinking side you can sit in the atrium as well.
Oh,
don't forget Anderson's.
Oh, the gin distillery.
Yeah, there's like a gin distillery and a library and a nice quiet little bar area. Yep. That's really nice. We had a few little tipples in there, didn't we? I think we went there about twice on the first night and the second night we went there.
Originally found on Aurora and Oriana, they've brought it back for Iona,
which is great. We loved it.
New to Iona is the 710 Club by Gary Barlow.
Yeah, that's we're saying that's a bar that's probably going to verge into the entertainment more so as well.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
but that was available, and we really liked the one at the top, one of the back after ones. Was it Panorama? So it's basically got, by the Infinity Pool, the highest level one, just down from the sports court.
We spent an afternoon sitting there in the sun.
That was lovely.
That was perfect.
And and then I went in the pool, and then that's where the bridge come over the top. Yeah, that was a lovely afternoon. That was really nice.
I don't think there was any other bars we'd go to. We
did go to the club, which was the clubhouse, and I did have a little bit of a party time in there, and that's where I had my Malibu and Coke, and we played bingo and all in there. But yeah, that was quite a nice bar, but not really like a bar.
No,
I'd say our favourite was definitely the Emerald Bar.
Emerald Bar, it's because you've got the atrium, you can just sit there and people watch. And that's why the Glass House was another favourite.
Followed by Crow's Nest, because you can see out to sea. Yeah. So yeah, that's how we're drinking.
So that's our drinks done. So when you're drinking, you want some entertainment. So let's talk about entertainment.
Entertainment. There's a lot of entertainment on offer on P&O Iona. A lot of new stuff as well. Yep. And I'd even go as far as saying, very cutting edge.
Our evenings were just disappearing because we were just trying to see as much and do as much as we could. Yeah. And before we knew it, it was 3 o'clock in the morning.
So we'll start off with the enormous SkyDome. It is impressive just to be in it. It's obviously an indoor pool by day, but by night it transforms. The stage can retract and things, and all gets incorporated into this amazing, sort of like a Cirque du Soleil show.
Yep.
Very, very impressive. There's also loads of lasers in there. There's like one in the middle, the ring one, that's about £1 million or something.
Yeah, we were told that's worth £1 million.
But the show is really, really entertaining. Really enjoyed it.
I think it was probably one of the best shows we'd seen.
Yeah. We were very lucky to actually have it because the weather was so bad. On our cruise, we had heard it wasn't going to be happening at all. Fortunately for us, we had a late departure from one of our ports because of the weather, and in that time they decided they were going to put on 3 of these performances, and we were lucky enough to get one.
So that is one thing about that venue. If you want to see the sky shows, they are weather dependent, but they did have other live music acts up there as well if they weren't doing a show.
It's free, it's included. You don't have to pay for it. You just Did you book it on the app?
No, that was just
turn up. So it's first come, first serve, grab a seat and go. But it was really, really good. Really enjoyed that. So that was that.
So while Luke mentioned about the app, P&O have the My Holiday app, which is a website you go onto and you can make your bookings for some of the restaurants and some of the entertainment venues. So one of the things you need to book is the Headliners Theatre. Anything going on there usually does require booking. So while we were on board, we saw one of the shows. I think it was about midway through the cruise. I think they were playing the same show throughout the whole cruise. They didn't have the different shows. So unfortunately, the one we wanted to see, which was Festival, wasn't playing.
Nevertheless, we really enjoyed Headliners. While we were on the subject, it was lovely. When we went, obviously because there was so many showings of that show, it wasn't rammed and jam packed, which was great. It was a wonderful performance, really good, really entertaining.
Like you said, because it wasn't packed, we could have just turned up to it probably. We didn't need to book,
but we did. So we've spoke about Headliners. Then we've gone on to the Limelight Club.
Oh, this was fantastic.
Where LeVar was, and she was awesome, as we've said about here before with the dine-in. We did get carried away there and got sidetracked, but LeVar was brilliant, and so were the Limelight. Is it the Limelight?
Limelight.
They were the resident band, and they were brilliant as well. Brooke and all has an amazing voice. She's a really good singer.
You'll also find in the atrium there'll be a pianist.
sometimes, not in the day. I mean, we would probably like there to be a little bit more, I'd say.
Yeah.
And we would probably like there to be a bit of music around the pool in the day too, which there isn't or hasn't been.
No, and there seems to be a big empty space in the bottom of the atrium, so I think maybe there will be something at some point. Let's see. The other thing that Luke loved was Alvin, or his proper name, Calvin.
Oh, I kept calling
the Illusionist.
I am terrible with names. The Illusionist was brilliant. He just was there throughout random evenings. We've seen him about 2 or 3 times, didn't we?
Yeah, he's not on every cruise. But
he's free. He's not trying to sell you life insurance or anything like that. He looks like a salesman. He's stood there, but when you go to him, he does all these really cool tricks. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but they're really, really good, really fun, and free.
I've heard before they've had magicians and stuff on board, so there's always going to be somebody doing something like that.
Sometimes as well, there were practice runs with these people doing like aerial acrobatic things. But that's not like scheduled or anything. That just happens.
That hasn't been done yet.
Not properly. So there's that. We've also got Gary Barlow's 710 Club.
Yes.
So obviously Gary Barlow headed it, and he sort of
chooses the acts and produces. I don't know if you
we popped in one night. It was very, very busy. It's very, very popular. People like to get in there early, and they do queue out into the atrium.
So the doors open about half an hour before the show, but people are queuing about 45 minutes before it starts because it is limited capacity.
It's quite small in there, to be fair.
It's an intimate little venue.
Yeah.
I don't think it's really for us.
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't for us. Again, it's one of those things where there was nothing wrong probably with it. The band and all were probably great, and they could sing and everything. They were playing fine, but it's just not our taste of music on that occasion. If there was something else, maybe we might have been.
But again, it's one of those venues I've heard people like to go back to over and over again. So make sure you get there early.
It's included in your fee.
Yep, no charge.
No charge. That's
just
great.
For the drinks if you're not on the package.
So after that, we've done the SkyDome. We've done the thing. Now we've got the clubhouse at the back. That's another one of our favourite spots. We say it within entertainment because the Calvin does go there and do magic shows. He did an illusion show there. We did have bingo regularly.
They
do
Pulse,
games.
I think.
Quizzes.
The band as well.
Yep, there's another band goes there. And then there's late night disco dancing. That's fun. So that's great. So we really, really enjoyed it. So for entertainment, I've got to say on this cruise, we experienced all of it pretty much. We didn't miss anything. There was even like a pianist playing in the crow's nest.
We tried to cram in as much entertainment as we could. Hopefully you'll see in future videos when we're going around the ship.
It will all come out eventually. But it was great. So entertainment was really, really good.
Happy days. So after all those late nights and all that dancing, you might want to chill out and relax. Iona has a fantastic spa.
Yeah, really, really.
We booked it for one or 3 hours in one day, wasn't it? Or 2 hours in one day.
We booked a slot. Basically, as we've always said in the past, the first thing we recommend when you board a ship is go straight to the spa. They'll give you a tour, and you can try and get yourself either a week's pass or if they're available a day pass. What you usually find though is they book up with the full-on week passes.
Yes.
And then depending on how much of a take-up there is on that, they will then sell little daily passes.
No, normally you have to wait till the second day to get your day passes.
Yeah. So we did wait. We didn't want to pass for the whole week, and then basically we just turned up and asked for a pass. And how P&O were doing it was really, really quite good.
Yeah. So normally you have a pass and you have a pass for a full day. What you tend to find is that sometimes if you're in the mornings, it might be quiet. Then it gets busy. Then it gets quiet. But what they've done on Iona is they've done it into slots.
So you get a 2-hour slot. So we had from, I think it was 1 until 3.
Yes,
1 until 3. So we had 2 hours of just bliss, and it was really quiet. They were only booking in those slots about 8 to 10 people.
That's it, because they weren't given full day slots and they were booking into time slots. They were controlling how many people were in there.
And to be fair, 2 hours is enough. If once you've been in the big hydrotherapy pool and you've been around the sauna and the steamer and you've had a little lie down, it's just enough. I think it was ample time. It was really, really good, and the facilities are nice. And there was even one shower. The birds were singing and all that, and they do like these storm.
That was cool.
That was really, really awesome.
The price for those 2 hours was £35. I think if you book a 3-day pass or a full week's pass, obviously the price per session comes down. But we thought it was quite good value, really.
Yeah, we were happy enough with it. Would have probably liked it to have been around about 20 quid, I think, maybe. But,
it'd be nice if it was included.
I was just glad to go there, to be honest, because the weather outside wasn't the best. So.
And on the same day, we also visited the gym.
to just look at it, just to pop our heads in, because we were down there. I was like, well, the gym's down here somewhere, let's go and see what it looks like.
That'd be rude not to.
So we did stick our head in. So you'll be pleased to know, after gorging yourself stupid with all that food and cake and everything else and all those nice cocktails, you can burn off all that sugar at the gym.
Yes.
If you can get out of bed and you're not too hungover.
In normal times, we probably would go to the gym for half an hour every morning. And we thought it might be a bit weird having the gym so low, because it is on the lowest level. But you have got windows looking out at the sea, and it is actually quite nice.
There's a lot of facilities there, loads and loads of equipment. It's great. Yep. Really, really good. There is a little room. I didn't get it on camera, but I have seen it on plans that it's for like spin classes.
So no, if you want to relax, you've got the spa, and if you want to burn off some of those calories, there's a fully equipped gym.
So, while we are on the topic of the gym, those fitness lovers will be pleased to know there is a jogging track on the very top deck, and it is separate from Iona's wraparound promenade deck. Yep. So you can actually run, and in theory, all the walkers and the whatever, they'll be down the bottom, so you won't crash into them. You'll also find an enormous sports court, which is huge.
And there's 2 golf nets as well.
2 golf nets up there as well. Which I think there's also like deck games like quoits and stuff.
So you've got deck quoits, and they were doing archery in the sports court.
Yeah, that was cool. And there's also like a little splash play area for kiddies.
Yep.
You'll find loads and loads of infinity pools. You've obviously got the pool inside the SkyDome. Yep. There's also a smaller pool at the front of the ship, just before the retreat area, and it's got a nice little bar. It's called the Beachcomber pool. It's really cool. I used to love going through there. They've got little like palm trees and things. I didn't actually go in that pool. I would have liked to have, but obviously the weather was a bit dicey and it wasn't covered over. It's open, but that looks really nice. And then you have also got your retreat at the front, which we didn't use on this ship on this occasion. Obviously you have to pay for that. You get a pass again. You can either buy it for a week usually, or you can go for a day pass. Same as the sort of like the spa.
It will probably be. What I'd say is, if you're on a nice weather itinerary, because she's such a huge ship, she's gonna have a lot of passengers. Yeah. So if you want to guarantee somewhere to relax, that's kind of what that area is for, really, because you pay for it.
And if you like hot tubs, there are hot tubs galore on the ship. Or it's great on the main prom deck, or wraparound promenade deck. You've got these infinity hot tubby pool things towards the front. They look really cool. Didn't actually manage to get them. They're very popular, and they are at the moment, because of COVID, limited to like one group or one person. So it's very, so they have those at the very back of the ship. They have these enormous like hot tubs, or
biggest ones we've seen,
jacuzzi pools, whatever you want to call them. And they're huge. They're like a pool, to be fair. They're enormous. And as I've said before, there's these nice infinity pools at the top that sort of lead down. So there's plenty of pools and things. It's great.
I'm trying to think, is there any other outdoor spaces we've missed?
You've got these nice little walkways outside the atrium, because you've got the panoramic windows, these like little walkways that go. They're quite cool. They sort of stick out. They're not infinity bridges. They don't have glass on the bottom, but they're nice.
They're still nice.
Still quite nice.
So there's always, if you want to get out and walk on the ship, there's something to do.
There's plenty of deck space for like lounging around, sunbathing. There's a nice little chest thing in the middle of the ship as well. That was really cool to see. A nice relaxing area up there.
The one thing we will note, on the prom deck, there's a lot of deck chairs as well to relax.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what that'd be like on a hot summer's day. Whether it'll be quite congested to walk around the prom deck at that point.
Yeah,
but
I think it'll be okay.
Obviously, we were cruising in February, so it didn't bother us. Yeah. So, what were your final thoughts on the cruise, and how did it go overall, Luke?
The cruise was brilliant. To be fair, I think we were so jammy with this cruise. We really were. We basically paid about £490 for a balcony cabin, as we said, guaranteed. We booked to go on a Northern Europe cruise, which we thought, okay, but we would go, for the price we paid, time of year. It was a nice little stay.
To be honest, they're all ports we've been to, so there was a bit of us that was tempted just to stay on the ship anyway.
Yeah, we were going on this cruise to see Iona. Anyway, literally day before we were about to go, 2 days before we were about to sail, you had an email to say that because of this storm that was coming in, which we knew nothing about, the whole itinerary was scrapped. And Iona was going to go to Lisbon, Vigo, and La Coruna. So we literally literally, I was dancing around the room. I was chucking all the hot stuff, like the hoodies and most of them out, throwing in the swimming shorts, chuck. I did keep hold of my bobble hat, but threw some sunglasses in. Literally, I packed a bit of everything. We did overpack, I will be honest.
It's probably why we had 3 cases, to be fair.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was buzzing with the itinerary change, and to be fair, I think the captain did a really good job through the storm. It's worth saying. He was keeping us updated. His communication was fantastic.
We did, because of the storm, we obviously lost La Coruna. So what they did is they went full speed up to the north of France.
Somewhere around Cherbourg.
Yeah, Cherbourg area. So we sheltered there while the storm hit the UK, and then late on Friday night, they took us.
Yeah. So we basically had 2 days at sea. Lisbon, didn't have an overnight day, it was just a day. Then we had Vigo. Then we had another 2 days at sea, and then unfortunately we had to get off. It worked out really, really well. I'm really pleased with it. The cruise as a whole was fantastic.
The ship as a whole was fantastic.
Brilliant. The entertainment, amazing. The food.
To be honest, we just had a fantastic.
We weren't going to bed until like 4 in the morning. No. I'm not even joking.
There were some niggles on board. Now we've briefly gone over about the cabin creaking.
The creaking, which wasn't the worst. Like you said, we closed the door. It wasn't a problem. It was only a problem when we were out there. But, it wasn't really sort of time you had to be out there all the time, just briefly.
The bingo didn't go our way and we didn't win. So that was also...
complain about that now.
That's another thing to complain about. And then the only other real complaint we had was one night we had problems with the booking of the Keel and Cow. Yeah,
basically we'd intended to go to the Keel and Cow, which as we've said before, you use the app to book.
Yes.
So it puts you in a queue. This was the night we went to Vigo. So we went to see the headliner show, which was planned, scheduled. Then we had these impromptu shows up at the SkyDome. So we went to see one of those. And obviously they were quite busy, so we did see the last one.
Yes.
Then we went down to have our food, which we'd put ourselves.
So we'd booked into the Keel and Cow while still in the show.
Yeah.
Because we understood that 9:30 Keel and Cow closed. So by the time we went down, we were keeping an eye on our booking on our phone all the way down, and it just disappeared. We're like, what's going on here? So when we went to the Keel and Cow, they said what had happened is at 9:30 they closed the queue.
So they don't just close the restaurant; they kick you off the queue. So we were like, okay. So at that point, we said that's fine, no problem. It's 9:30, you close. A bit disappointed because you've put us in a queue and we waited. We could have dashed to the buffet or something.
But here was the killer blow.
This is where it all goes wrong. Where can we get food at this time of night? We were literally told there is nowhere on the ship. Not even the buffet was open. The buffet would reopen at 11.
Yep.
That was the only place, wasn't it?
Yeah, everywhere closed. They suggested we go back to our room
and order room service.
Dressed in our tuxedos and order room service.
Yes, and there's very limited choice you can get in the room, really. Is it pizza? Can you get pizza?
I don't think you can.
We've normally only ever ordered like beef sandwiches from there, and the point was we didn't want to go to our room in our tuxedos and eat that sandwich. I did walk past the Quays in a hurry, sort of thinking, will it just, they pull the shutters down, will I just grab some chips? It's literally this sort of, and there was a mum outside with a kid saying, please, can you just give my daughter some chips? And there were people behind us as well, not just us in this queue that vanished. There was another.
So that's one downside. That everything closed at 9:30. We did raise it as a complaint via reception, and to be fair, they did honour our booking, and they did provide us with a complimentary meal in the Keel and Cow. But it did take us about a quarter an hour, 20 minutes to get to that point. At the moment,
it's worth knowing that other P&O ships do always have somewhere open. There's nearly always somewhere you can get food.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. If like the Keel and Cow was closed, we would have gone to the buffet. We did say that.
Yeah.
But the fact, it just was all closed. Everything completely shut for that whole, hour and a half, which isn't really... You're on a cruise and you're on holiday and with all these shows and everything, and the fact the shows had all changed times and the departure
it does seem
was
strange when they could be doing, the fish and chip shop could stay open till 11 and then open the buffet.
That's basically what we suggested. We said, well, maybe, what you might want to do is just leave the Quays open until 11, then close that and then have the buffet open, so there's always somewhere for people to go, because it's not necessarily the fact that we were disappointed we couldn't go to the Keel and Cow. We would have eaten anyway. By that point I would have eaten my hand, but
not room service.
I didn't want to go and sit in my room. And not only that, room service is charged as well. That's not included. Not that that's a problem, but you're in your tux. You want to be out.
That wasn't happening, and thankfully they went above and beyond and sorted it out for us.
I'm hoping. I mean, like we said, we did want to see the food and beverage manager, but that wasn't to whinge and complain. I wanted to actually just say, look, you need to change. Yep. This needs to change a little bit here. This is not right.
To be honest, we hadn't had many to drink that night. Maybe if we'd had a few more to drink, we'd been full up on beer, but we weren't.
No. But that's our only gripes with the ship.
Yep.
There was absolutely nothing wrong with embarkation, nothing wrong with our room, other than the odd bit of creaking.
Disembarkation was nice and smooth. Would we sail on P&O Iona again?
Yes,
of course. I think we jumped the chance.
Yeah, I just wish there was an aqua park, like an adult one with water slides on it. That's all I wish. You've got the Carnival Mardi Gras and you've got the Costa ones. They've all got slides. I think P&O are going in the right direction with Arvia by having a ropes course.
Yep.
But we want slides. We need slides. I mean, It's a family ship. You're trying to break the mould a little bit and get some new guests.
I think
people on board.
P&O want to attract families, they're probably going to need to go down the slide. They need to have food a lot more.
Admitted, we know it's not everyone's taste.
No.
But we're not forcing Doris up on a water slide with a cattle prod, are we? She doesn't have to go there. She can go and sit in the crow's nest and read a book. That's up to her. And that's the only thing we can pick on. Comparing it to other cruise lines.
So that was just, we say brief. It might have gone on a bit. But if there's any questions, like I said at the start, that you've got or just we haven't covered,
or email them to us.
Pop it in the comments below. Drop us an email. We're hello@cruisemonkeys.com. We're also on Instagram and Twitter. Pop them on there, and what we'll try and do is get them all together, and then when we do our live show, we'll be able to work through them.
Yeah.
And we'd love it actually if you'd come and join us on the live show and ask the questions.
Which we're hoping will be about a weekend from now.
Yes. So hopefully about 7 days time.
So give us time to get your questions in and go through them, work out, get all the information we need if we need any.
Yep.
And we'll help you out best way we can. But other than that, we'd highly recommend Iona.
Yes.
And we wouldn't hesitate to go back on board again.
And one final thing is just to say thank you to everybody who came up to us while on board Iona.
Yeah, we loved meeting you all. It was great.
It's fabulous.
And we just hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. And as he said, hit the little bell thing, because then you'll be notified.
To do that.
You'll be notified when we're on for our live.
Yes,
and our vlogs,
when your vlogs go up,
and things go up as well. So that'll be cool. So, meantime, take care of yourself.
From all of us.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.